Okay, so Daniel Bryan is officially retired. I got to see the rest of it, and it was actually nice, heartwarming. I'm glad they lots of recaps on SmackDown and all that. So I guess I'll briefly touch upon the Titus O'Neil suspension, since Daniel's associated with Brie with Nikki, and Titus is in there because he's pretty cool, and he's like the greatest PR person for the WWE because he does these phenomenal things for kids, for impoverished youth, and he does them all because he can. So as Vince McMahon was leaving, Titus grabbed his arm because Stephanie should be the first one to leave, because a woman should leave before a man. It's a level of old school courtesy. However, you don't touch the boss, especially on live television. And apparently backstage, people haven't been following the rules as much as they should be, so it was kind of one of those moments where they suspended Titus for 90 days. They were in the process of potentially firing him, but Joey Mercury and Triple H were like, whoa, 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 whoa. He grabbed your arm so Stephanie could leave before you. Firing him is a freaking PR nightmare. On the bright side, his Smarkdom rating like quadrupled. Even Titus was like, I made a mistake. I did the right thing, but I did it the wrong way. Cool. 9 days became 60. 60 still way too much. To be honest, I think later that week he lost to Social Outcasts. I probably would have put him on like random jobber duty and been like, you're not gonna be in Dollar Giant Memorial Battle Royal. You'll be at the Access events. You can meet the fans. You'll still get the payday for the other activities, but you won't be on WrestleMania. Which I think would have been fine enough. Take him off to 2 pay-per-views, make him job for a bit. Fine. Let people know that this is not going to be tolerated, but don't suspend a guy for 2 months. That's overkill. On Good Morning America, Brie announced that she's planning on retiring. Okay. She's still healthy. Daniel's still healthy. They want to have kids. I'm cool with that. The simpy run that she's getting taking on Charlotte. If it becomes a good match, cool. Their promo was rough. I wish them the best of luck. I do think that there's enough goodwill between those two that the E Network, I said the WWE Network, should try to see if they can do either some documentaries about here's Bryan and his life afterwards. They mentioned how they're into lots of the organic things, lots of the locally made things. Give them a little bit every now and then to push some of that stuff through. Maybe help them set up like a YouTube thing, kind of like what Tennille is doing for her cooking. There's lots of goodwill that you can do with them that show the WWE is more as a wrestling company. It could have more of the really higher end PR piece to it and show more about the health and wellness side, which of course is always a plus for essentially a more physical activity. So I've gotten through those bits. Briefly touch on Wade Barrett retiring. Man, that guy had so much fire when he first started. Bad news, Barrett was a great gimmick. The bare knuckle brawler gimmick worked. Just, he had a bad string of injuries. And every time he came back, the crowd still cares, just not as much, and other newer, more interesting things have taken place. So, sorry about that. I watched this stuff in England. Dude was a tank. But, injuries and poor creative choices by management taking its toll. So, discussing the common of just the increased amount of injuries. I didn't talk about Nikki having the spinal fusion surgery because I was taking some time off and I was out of the state. I will be one of the first people to admit she did get a lot better. She was probably one of the best overall main roster divas in the past couple of years. Now I say overall because I thought AJ was great and then she left. They have no idea what to do with Paige, and Paige was fantastic in NXT. I think that just the constant travel and poor booking has really, really degraded, anything they really could do with her. Nikki was put in a really good position. Her more strong style worked great. I thought her use of the forearm smash, the Bella Hammer, was fantastic. The match she had with Charlotte, where she actually did the Alabama Slam to the outside, that should have been the finish of the match, and people would have been happy. She had a lot of injuries towards the end of her historic title run. That's why she had defended the title all the time. That's why I'm feeling in some fans' mind it's going to be an asterisk. Beyond the Triple H effect, that's Triple H, no matter how great he is, he married Steph. That tarnished his career. Nikki had success, got with John, was still successful. Some people are going, well, she's successful because of John, not because of her mainstream mass market appeal. But she did get significantly better. During the time that she was injured, you had Brie as a main centerpiece. Brie felt like she kind of just hit a stride, didn't really go anywhere. When Nikki came back, she came back bigger, stronger, with a different moveset, and just felt like she really progressed herself as a character. That being said, her finish of the Rack Attack pretty much destroyed her body. When you do a move that drops the full weight of your opponent across your neck and shoulder areas, and it's like, well, she's got shoulder problems. She's had knee injuries. She's had shoulder injuries, forearm, elbow. She's always had just almost a near constant level of pain. So instead of having her defend the title in multiple women's matches, where she could have been the person who, takes the bumps on the outside of the ring, the overuse of twin magic toward the end, even though she was positioned as kind of a face, and then a tweener during Divas Revolution, even though she outright cheated, which would make her a heel, but she got popped from the crowd because she's one of the most marketable divas, and with the two of them, it's easier to market the two as one package as the Bella brand, and then had your Nikki and your Brie brand. So I think that if she is done, she could be interesting in NXT just to show the women, here's how you can market yourself to really significantly make as much money as you can during your time as a wrestler. I do think she started out with not really passion for wrestling. There was a lot of I'm doing this to do something else. I do think that when they came back with the help of Total Divas, which I think it gave them the ability to kind of do both simultaneously, that they did actually develop the ability to actually really enjoy what it is they were doing. So, did she get better? Yes. Will I eat a plate of crow for that? Yes. Do I think that she was the best women's wrestler of this era? They've been around for quite some time, so they were there during a lot of the Kelly Kelly era. And Kelly Kelly was a multiple-time Divas champion. Then you had the Eve Torres era. Whereas Eve Torres, Maris, Melina, a bit of Candice Michelle, so it was more of the here's your diva search. People that got brought in. So again, they began to value models over wrestlers. I think some of the hatred for the Bellas is they've always had that models before wrestler stigma. Most women don't get to get out of that. I can think of Trish Stratus, who was model, successfully transitioned to professional wrestler. That's the one that really sticks out. She became an absolute standard bearer. Could Nikki have hit that point? It's hard to tell. She was one of the best in a really poorly booked era. Which is one of those weird things where you can be the top person, but it was an era where really nobody cared about Divas matches. They're trying to get to the point now, and I also think that people look at it from a diminished standpoint because NXT's women caught frickin' fire in 2014 and 15. So around the time when, Nikki was really cresting and was really riding high on this wave of, I am the top diva. If you owned the network, you were watching women giving main event spots. Women going out there and putting on phenomenal matches in front of crowds that were hot for women's wrestling. Then you watch the main roster, and crowds were mild to women's wrestling. It's easier to get, 2,000 people in a room who are like, woo, wrestling! Instead of getting, 7,000, 8,000 people in a room and be like, Who we got? Meh. I'm just here for my dude. So if she is done, wish her all the best of luck. If she's not done, I would love to see her show up at a takeover and work NXT takeover. And really, really, you know what, smart crowd? Here I am. Give me a 10, 15-minute match. Give me somebody who I know I can put on a hellacious match with. And let me prove to you what I actually can do when the chains are off. But if she is done, I wish you the best of luck. Maybe they'll still do Total Divas. They could do like After Divas. It'd also be unique too to see how that changed relationship with John. John's going to be on the road pretty much till his body can't go. And Nikki could either be someone to become a mouthpiece. If she can't wrestle, but she can still travel, she could be a great valet for a not quite heel John. Because they talk all the time about Brie and Brian. And they had thrown out, oh, Nikki used to date Nick. Nikki and John date. But they've never had those two together on the main roster. Like showing them coming down to the ring. And I think that she could maybe add just the little bit of edge that John could really use in this character. Or she might have one or two more matches. It would be great to see her take on Steph. If she's got one more run in her, I would say keep the belt off her. Have her be the person to destroy Stephanie in a match. And I think that could be pretty entertaining.